Hey everyone, and welcome to CATIA, the fastest way to create threads. So to create threads in 3D Experience CATIA, also known as CATIA V6, there are two main approaches. Today, I'll show you both methods. The symbolic method, which is perfect for visually representing threads, and I'll show you how to physically model the threads, which not only looks great in rendering, but could prove to be necessary if you need to actually manufacture these threads. First, let's talk about the difference between threads versus taps. Basically, threads are external and they're applied to shafts and bolts, whereas a tap is internal and that's typically applied to the inside of a hole. Let's start with an easy one and create an external thread. I like to call this the fast method. It's also known as symbolic threads. Before we create these symbolic threads, we do need to make sure that the CATIA settings are configured correctly so the threads will actually display on screen. To do this, go to App Preferences, go down to 3D Modeling Core, and within Part Design, enable the Display Symbolic Representation. Next, we need to set the correct view mode to display the threads. To do this, go to the View tab, and within View Modes, switch to Shaded with Materials. Also, just as a personal preference, I like to turn on Sharp Edges for better visibility. Now let's actually apply the symbolic thread. To do this, I'll start off with a simple M16 bolt. From the Model tab, you'll find the tool for Thread Tap. For the support face, select the cylindrical shaft of the bolt, and the limit face will be the end of the bolt. Make sure the type is set to thread. Choose your thread standard. I'm going to use metric thick for this example. This is an M16 bolt, so I'm going to use M16 for my thread description. I like to use dimension as my thread mode, so I can adjust the thread depth to exact measurements. For this case, I'll use 24 millimeters. And lastly, I'll set the thread side to right threaded. Hit OK, and the symbolic threads will be created. However, you might not see them quite yet. If they're not showing up, there's one last step. Under the Review tab, you'll find Tap Thread Analysis. It might be tucked away in the pop-up tool list. In the pop-up window, select the option to show symbolic representation, and the thread should appear. Whole threads are done in a very similar method using the Thread Tap tool from the Model tab. Just be sure to select the Tap option at the top of the window. Set the needed settings, and with the Thread option, select OK. It's important to note that this is not real geometry. It's strictly symbolic and intended for visual representation without the heaviness of unnecessary modeling. Just a heads up, as of the time of making this video, the symbolic threads, when viewed in 3D, tend to show reverse threads. This is cosmetic only. Basically, it shows you that there are threads, not necessarily visual representation of what the threads are actually going to look like. But rest assured, the metadata is there, and is going to give you the correct thread information when called out in 3D annotations or on the drawing. Before we move on, I do have to note that this next process utilizes the Generative Shape Design app, typically known as GSD. There are two ways to physically model threads. You can either cut into geometry or add material to it. There really isn't a right or wrong way to do it, but my preferred method is to add material. Honestly, it's just how my brain works. First, I'm going to start off with an M16 machine screw. Since I'm adding material while creating these threads, I'll need to first remove some material to allow for the threads I'm about to create. The threads will add 1 millimeter to the total diameter of the shaft, so I need to remove 0.5 millimeters all the way around. I can do that with a simple pocket and just cut up to the fillet. That will leave me with a nice termination point where I can create the threads. For the thread geometry, I will need to use a rib feature to sweep a sketch profile along a helical curve. In order to create a helical curve, we'll first need a sketch point and an axis. For this example, I'll place it on the YZ plane since it already perfectly slices the cylinder right down the center. The easiest way to place a point in the right location is to select the cylinder and then select Project 3D Elements. This will project both ends of the cylinder onto the sketch plane we are currently editing. Select the cylinder face and then select Intersect 3D Elements. This will create a full sketch perimeter of the cylinder. Once that's done, select all 4 lines and select Convert Construction Elements. This will create a parametric frame and is perfect to place the sketch point. Place the point at the intersection of the top and end lines, then exit the sketch app. Next, we will need an axis, which is super simple to create. However, this is where we need to enter the Generative Shape Design app. To switch apps, click on the outer rim of the compass, also known as the big blue button, and then navigate to the GSD app. Select the cylinder of the bolt, and then the axis tool located under the wireframe tab. This will create a selectable axis down the center of the cylinder. We now have all the base geometry in order to create the helical curve. To create it, use the helix tool located in the wireframe tab. It might be nested along with the rest of the curve tools. For the helix curve setting, I like to use height and pitch. That way I have full control over the depth of the threads and the distance between each pass. For this, let's set the type to constant pitch and then set it to 1¼ millimeters. Then the overall height to 24 millimeters. The starting point will be at the point we made in the previous sketch, and the axis is the axis we just made. I'll set the rotation to counterclockwise and then click OK. The next geometry feature I need to add is the sweep rib tool. In order to do that, we need both the helical curve and a profile sketch. So let's go ahead and create that profile sketch. This sketch needs to be symmetrical and the center must be at the end point of the helical curve. Since I shaved off that 1 millimeter of the cylinder, I'll set the height of this profile to 0.5 millimeters. The sketch profile is critical, and thread standards will need to be followed if the design is for more than just visual purposes. Threads are complex and they follow strict standards. For this example, I'm going to keep it pretty rough. Let's say 1/4 millimeter at the crest with a 60-degree thread angle. In order to create the rib, I'll need to switch back to CATIA part design. Remember, this is essentially switching what tools I have readily available to me. I don't need to close anything down or reopen anything to switch apps. Under the model tab is the rib tool. It might be nested under the slot tool. Using the rib tool, I'm going to select the profile we just made, and for the center curve, select the helix we created earlier. Hit OK, and the profile will sweep along the helix and create the rib. As you can see, the rib profile didn't quite behave like I wanted it to. It's not really staying relative to the outside of that cylinder. So in order to fix that, I'm going to go to the profile control, type, we'll use a reference surface, and the reference surface is going to be the outside of that cylinder, so the shaft of the bolt. And that will follow the path and keep that profile consistent. And there we go. I'll do a little cleanup and then we'll be done. To clean this up, I want to start a cut at the bottom of the pitch of the inside of the thread at the first rotation of the bolt. This can be easily achieved with a simple pocket cut. Using an open sketch and set both limits to up to next in order to cut all the way through both directions of the geometry. And there we go. We have some nice model threads that are going to look stellar in a rendering. Speaking of stellar, did you know that you can now render with the Stellar GPU engine directly in CATIA? It's super slick. See you next time.